What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now today we're going to be talking about a game that's a little bit more different than what we typically talk about on this channel, and that is Stray. Now, I was going to go ahead and pass up on this game, but so many different individuals were telling me that this game is outstanding, it's amazing, I should definitely check it out. I was thinking to myself, it's a game about a cat. I don't know if it's going to be that interesting, but let me tell you, I am extremely happy that I decided to pick this game up. Now, just to let you guys know, if anybody is worried that I'm about to showcase anything that might spoil the game or show you guys something that you don't want to see, don't worry about that. I'm just going to showcase one mission here in the very beginning, so it's nothing even at the end game. It's not going to really reveal too much about the story. It's just going to be a very, basic few missions that I'm going to run through here just to have some background gameplay. But if you're worried about spoilers, have no fear. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about this game, give my opinion about this game, and tell you why I personally think it is an absolute masterpiece. And also, very quickly, I don't want to wait until the middle or the end of this commentary for you guys to know this information. It's very crucial. This game is only on the PlayStation and on PC. Now, I don't know why they didn't go ahead and put it on Xbox, since PC and Xbox are both under Microsoft. You would think that they would put it on all platforms, but sadly, that is not the case, and it's completely out of my hands. So if you want to go ahead and give this game a try, just know you can only get it on PlayStation or PC. Those are the only platforms. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys. When I first saw this game, I was extremely worried Stray was going to be taking the same exact path as something as Goat Simulator or something of that sort. Basically, some oddball off game that's just thrown out there to make you just go out and do goofy, corny things. I want to be a cat today. Well, here you go. Be a cat. Go jump around. Go mess things up. Do your daily cat duties. And I gotta say, they did nail a lot of things about being a cat. As weird as it sounds, you can go ahead and, screw up a bunch of furniture, claw up couches, and claw up, carpets, and knock over a bunch of stuff, whether it's bottles, books, whatever you could possibly find. You could knock around and knock stuff up. You can go ahead and, drink out of water, find places to nap, all these oddball things which affect nothing about the game. Taking a nap is nothing for you. Drinking water does nothing for you. There's no health bars or anything that involve drinking and eating. None of that stuff is relevant, but it's still added in the game to make you feel like, you're a day-to-day cat. Now, lucky enough, this game is not just a cat simulator. It actually has a fantastic story to back up the whole game. Now, again, like I said, if you want to go off and, goof off and explore the world a little bit, you are allowed to do so. But that's not the purpose of Stray. Stray is definitely, down to its core, a fantastic story mode single-player game. And like I said, from the beginning to end, I was completely sucked into the whole story. I actually finished the whole thing on stream. It took me about 4.5 hours. Might take you guys a little bit longer. And that's, partially going out of my way to explore things and try to find, collectibles and stuff like that, which there are a ton of collectibles that you can go ahead and pick up. That's up to you. But if you want to go ahead and speed run this game and you just want to get through the story mode and see what the story is all about, then by all means, like I said, it'll probably take you anywhere from like 3.5 to maybe 4.5 hours. And that's from me stumbling around, getting stuck up with a bunch of puzzles, stuck in certain areas and stuff like that, taking a while, maybe even having to go on YouTube and look up tutorials because I'm that stuck. There's been many moments where I got held up, but at the end of the day, it was still a pretty decently short campaign. And I know a lot of people are going to look at that and say, well, the game is $30. Why would I go ahead and pay $30 for a game that's single player, no multiplayer, nothing to back it up in the future? It's probably only going to be like, one playthrough. It's only going to last you about 3.5, maybe up to 5 hours, depending on how much you want to search for collectibles and how much you want to do in the actual game. Why would I go ahead and cough up $30 for a game that's going to end that soon? And I gotta say, it's because it's pure art. This game is more than just a game. It's a masterpiece, and like I just said, it is art. The developers put so much time not only into the whole storyline, but just the graphics of the game as well. It's phenomenal. Every area, every new location is unique, interesting, fascinating, so many different spots to explore. And like I said, I partially speed ran the game, so that's why I finished it so soon. This game might last you a lot longer if you go ahead and explore the areas, because there is so much to explore. The backstory never ends, and every bit and piece of information that you pick up is going to explain more and more to why everybody is in this exact situation. And like I said a couple of seconds ago, the game is art, not just with graphics, but the actual characters themselves. There is basically nobody speaking within this game that can actually speak English. The majority of the time, you're going to be hearing little, murmurs, mumbles, like it's Animal Crossing or something of that sort, The Sims or something of that sort, and it's just going to be text on the screen. Yet and still, you still feel extremely emotionally attached to each and every character, and that is impossible to do unless you have the most outstanding, talented, artistic story team out there. Whoever wrote the story to this game and whoever created the characters and the back plot for all these people is just an absolute genius, because by the end of this whole game, I feel for each and every individual robot that's in this game. A game that started off, in my personal opinion, about a stray cat. It just seemed like the whole story plot was going to be around this cat, the life of a stray, animal. turned into being just an absolute masterpiece that pulled in so many different personalities and individuals who don't even speak to you. It's just dialogue, but it's so outstanding. And I'm not even saying that, they need to speak in order for the game to be good. I know that some games, especially in the past, some of the old classic N64, GameCube games and stuff like that, PlayStation 2 games, some games don't need any voice acting. They just need a good dialogue to follow along with. That's all it needs. Good story writing. But like I said, I haven't seen a game like that in so long, and I've seen so many different developers rely off of, very good voice actors or extremely good graphics, and they use all of their budget, all of the money that they have in their budget goes straight into animation, CGI, and all this other crazy cutscene stuff to make the game visually appealing. But what it lacks is a actual good story behind it. This game doesn't need any voice acting. I wouldn't even care if this game didn't look as good as it does right now. If the game graphically looked like shit, I would still enjoy the hell out of the game because the backstory is just out of this world. And on top of the backstory, the graphics, the environment, what really blows my mind about this game that I, really did not expect to enjoy a ton is the gameplay. Yes, the gameplay for a game that's about cats. It's just so freaking good. The game pretty much reminds me of something like Uncharted, the Uncharted franchise, Assassin's Creed. It's a platformer mixed with action-adventure, mixed with puzzles. It's literally every possible game genre that you could think of stuffed into one game about a dang cat. I mean, this is the last game that I would expect the developers to put so much time into, perfecting the gameplay model. But they truly did it. I love it. Like I said, one of the main reasons I love Uncharted is because it gives me a perfect amount of each and every one of those categories. It gives me a perfect amount of action. It gives me a perfect amount of platforming and trying to climb around and figure out how to, navigate maps. And it gives me a perfect amount of puzzles to the point where each and every one of them are not overwhelming. It's perfectly balanced. And that's what Stray does amazing. It's a platformer. You can navigate the map in so many different ways as a cat. It's a puzzle game. There's non-stop puzzles across the whole game, which are really good. And at the same time, it's an action-adventure. Not much action. You're not going to be, dicing up a bunch of monsters in this game 24/7. But there's still tons of action moments to be had. Shoot, the game is even a stealth game, like Sly Cooper, whatever the hell that game was back in the day. God, what a throwback, man, on the PlayStation. Oh my God. It's even like that. There's total stealth missions where you have to actually think, properly to not engage with anybody, because obviously you're not going to be, having anything to attack the enemy. So you have to actually think about how you're going to navigate the map in certain stealthy situations. It has so many different factors that it always keeps you on your toes. You will literally never know what's coming next, especially if you haven't watched any gameplay or watched any streams. If you're starting off on this game completely fresh, you will literally never understand what's happening. It's always going to be something new and fresh coming at you. And another thing that I love is that the puzzles aren't too complex. That's something that really aggravates me about certain games. That's why I usually, tend to avoid puzzle games, because, I am an FPS guy. Let's be honest here. I like just, instant action in my face. But I do love a good puzzle game. Like I said, Uncharted is one of my favorite franchises ever. And it's because the puzzles aren't, too over the top. That's going to take me hours to understand, and to a point where I'm going to have to Google it 24/7, but it's not too simple that I'm just going to be breezing through the game. Stray does it perfectly. I gotta say, it starts off very simple with the puzzles. I mean, you finish them in a couple of seconds and you move on, but as the game progresses, so do the puzzles. The puzzles get more complex, they get harder, and you have to start, actually thinking a little bit. But you don't have to think too hard to the point where the game is only about the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take you out of the experience. It doesn't take you out of the story because you're sitting in one segment for 2 hours trying to understand what the hell to do. No, it's never like that. It will challenge you. It will make your brain think. It will get the gears turning. But it's honestly the right amount of difficulty. But at the end of the day, I definitely would suggest this game to anybody out there. And you got to take that from a guy who hasn't really played too many single-player games in a long time. I mean, I've been really hyper-obsessed with FPS games for a minute now. So to drag me out of the FPS genre and put me into a game that was advertised to be about cats, I mean, legitimately, if you're coming from the outside like me, like I said, an FPS guy, and you look at this, you're probably going to think it's just a cat simulator. Something that you'll hop on for 10, 20 minutes. You'll go mess around. You'll go slap some bottles over, mess up a bunch of glasses, be an asshole cat, and then you'll hop off because you're getting bored, because you can only do that for so long before it gets tedious. It's not going to be like that. You have to trust me. You got to take my word. It's not going to be like that whatsoever. This game has a full-blown story backing it up from the beginning all the way till the end. There's tons of different things that you could do between the storyline. And also for a game that you could speedrun in about 4.5 hours, maybe to 5 hours, it was extremely satisfying. I mean, seriously, I did not expect to be as satisfied as I was, especially coming up to the ending. And I got to say, man, like I said, you don't think that you're going to be attached to these people. I mean, you're probably watching this gameplay and you're looking at all the robots and you're like, oh, yeah, know, they're just robots. You know, I'm not going to give a crap. Wait until you play the game. You have to play the game from beginning to end. Read the dialogue. Get some of the backstory. You know, you have to actually explore and try to find different pieces and put the pieces of the puzzle together. And once you understand what happened to this world and, you know, how you even got here, why you got here, and what's going on overall, it's just going to absolutely blow your mind. It's fantastic. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, a bonus, a hate it, leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, if you want to chat with me, let's do what you do so over Twitter and Discord. Put the link down in the description. And also, if you want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch, that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you all next one. Peace out.